Hello everyone, this is James Shore with another test-driven JavaScript video. I'm recording this on February 24th, 2013, picking up right where we left off in the last episode. And what we're working on here is touch events. We are getting the ability to have our WeWikiPaint application respond to the mouse. And so far it is working. So let me just show you that. I'm going to bring it up, start the server and reload. And now you can see when I drag here, this is simulating the mouse or the finger on this iOS device. It works great. What you can't see is what we just finished in the last episode, which is that if I put a second finger down, it will stop drawing. At this point, we have pretty much finished touch event support, but the code is really ugly. We've done the basic touch events. We're now considering the special cases, and I think we've got them all, but I might have missed some. If you can think of any, let me know in the comments. But we also need to clean up the code. In particular, the way we're sending the touch events is it's ugly. it's really ugly. So this is the code that sends the touch events, and I want to clean that up. The code that actually handles the touch events is not too bad, except that there's all this duplication. Touch start, touch move, and touch end essentially work exactly the same way as mouse down, mouse move, and mouse up. And mouse leave. So I want to eliminate that duplication. So in this episode, that's what we're focusing on, is cleanup. So the first thing I want to do is we have this bit of code right here inside of touch start. What happens is if the user puts down a second finger, we want the drawing to stop. And the reason for that is that the location of the touch is the center of all this page X and page Y actually shows up as the center of multiple touches. And so it's weird. And if they're putting down two fingers, then it's presumably a drag operation or something like that. Now, after we've played with it for a while, we might find that people are accidentally touching with the second finger and we want to ignore it. But for now, what we've got it set up to do is just cancel dragging if multiple touches occur. That code, however, is pretty ugly. And in particular, what we're doing is we're saying if there was a touch array at all, and then if there was one touch, or more, not one touch, then we are going to cancel it. The reason we're doing that is because our normal send touch event doesn't send the list of touch events like it's supposed to. That's what we got working in the last episode. So what I want to do is create a touch list in both cases. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to grab this code. And there is a lot of duplication here, and that really bugs me. So we're going to want to figure that out as well. But for now, I think what we can do is just do this and hopefully have it work. Oh, and it didn't test. So it didn't test Safari because I didn't have this screen up, so let's try that again. That seems to have worked. Because we're simulating the events, I don't totally trust it. I'm going to try it manually. So reload. Well, it seems to be working. I'm going to try it on the real iPad as well. Okay, I'm drawing with one finger, and that's working, and I put down a second finger, and it stops drawing. It looks like our test is accurately simulating the real iPad, so I think we can say this is working. So now I should be able to get rid of this, and it should still work. Okay, it looks like it's still working. Okay, what I'd like to do next is somehow send multiple touch event and send touch event are really, really similar. So I want to factor out the commonalities there. And I think the way I'll do that is I'm thinking that I'll have send touch event just call send multiple touch event, and send multiple touch event will have some logic in it. And then we'll just create the touch list accordingly. I wonder what would happen if we passed in a null as our second touch list option. Would touch list treat that appropriately or not? Oh, it can't serialize cyclic structures, right. What we need to do is turn this off. Okay, so no, it doesn't work. Look, so here's object 1, 0. It's got our touch object, and then 1 comes across as a null, and it thinks there's 2 touch events. So we can't pass in a null. So what we'd have to do is say if touch B is null, touch list equals new touch list touch A, else touch list equals new touch list touch A touch B. Now I did some research off camera. There is no way to programmatically construct this touch list with a variable number of arguments. It is possible to do it with some JavaScript objects with some ugly contortions, but it cannot be done. It cannot be done with the touch list object because it is implemented in C or in the bowels of Safari in some way. So it doesn't behave like a real JavaScript object, at least not entirely. Okay, this has not made the code any prettier. It's made it uglier. But that's normal. It sort of gets worse before it gets better. Let's get rid of that. This should still work. Yes, good. Okay, what if we make this a method called create touch list? I'm not exactly sure how I want this to work out, so I'm kind of feeling my way through it. Yeah, and as I said, normally with JavaScript, you can look at the arguments array, which gives you all the arguments, and then programmatically construct something. But again, that will not work with touch list. I've tried it. And you're welcome to try it as well. I could have missed something easily. And if you do figure that out, please let me know in the comments because I don't really like this code. It's pretty ugly. Okay, so now we have the ability to create our touch lists. Except I want this to be touch A and this to be touch B. Not that it really matters. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to make the client X and client Y 0. And this should cause our test to break. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't want the code to actually depend on client X on the constructed client X and client Y. I want it to look at the first touch object. So if we turn that to 0, all of our tests should break. But they didn't. Why not? That's surprising. They should have. Oh, because that was multiple touch event. So here, if we turn it to 0 and 0, it should work. Yeah, or it should fail like it's supposed to. And it did, but now we can go into here in our production code and say, rather than looking at original event.page X and page Y, let's say that page X equals original event.touches 0.page X, page Y. Okay. Hope this works. Oh, you know what? It won't work because we have to change the start as well. Yes. There's some more ugliness. Another sign that we've got some refactoring to do. But that's working. Let's make sure it really works. Yeah, it seems to work. Double check it on the real iPad. So everything's still working. That's good. Now, so we're passing in 0, client X and client Y. What I'm thinking here is that what I want to pass in is, I want to basically say create touch event. And I'm wondering if I can just pass this through. I think I can. We have send touch event, but I want to just say create touch event. Or maybe what we do here, yeah, what we should, let's change this to say send single touch event. And this will be send multi-touch event. And then we can factor out basically everything here. And we'll call this send touch event. Still pretty ugly, but I think we're getting closer. That takes the event, the touch list, and the jQuery element. And that's right. That's what we want. And that looks pretty nice. In fact, we can even inline that. And I'll bet you we could put this in here. Let's try that. Okay, we broke something. Line 235. Here. We can't. Let's go ahead and pull that back out for now. That's some duplication we'll just leave in for now. Okay, so send single touch event is looking better. Now we want to do the same thing for send multi-touch event, and I think we should be able to just do that. Except Safari wasn't tested. All this time I haven't been testing Safari. I hope I haven't broken anything. Nope, that's working. Good. And I'll bet you I can simplify this. Let's inline this and inline this and rename this to touch 2 and rename this to touch 1 and then inline this. Yeah. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, now let's come back over here and look at what we've got. Some ugliness in the production code. The tests are looking better, but they're still not great. I'm not loving them, but they're definitely better. And that is all the time we've got for this episode, so I'm going to stop here. Next time, we are going to continue with cleanup, probably by focusing on the client-side code. And then once that's done, there's still lots more that could be done, but I think we are ready to call it good on this chapter once we get some more cleanup done in the client, on the production code. So that's what we'll do next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you then.